Recently, Ibis Paint has not been doing it for me. The app is so bad. So that's why I'll be trying 4 different apps to find my Ibis Paint replacement. The first app we're using is called Sketchbook. The main problems I had with this app was that the interface was kind of confusing. Lots of things were hidden behind a paywall, including clipping layers and alpha lock layers. Buttons like the undo button were delayed. The brushes interface was confusing. Multiple buttons for the same exact thing. The time-lapse feature was really confusing. I had to search up a tutorial for that. And there was no liquify tool. The pros were that it was easy to get the hang of if you've used other art programs before this. When you figured out the brush selections, there were many to choose from. The brush stabilizer was pretty good and has pretty much everything you need in an art app, excluding liquify tool. So clearly this app has more cons than pros. This app was not easy to use at all. It took forever to get the hang of what even I was doing. And even after I did, it just did not feel right to use. It did not feel okay in my palm. This drawing took way longer than it should have because of how annoying the app was to use. The app is good, but the app is not fun, if that makes sense. Not that I was expecting this app to be good anyway, because I've heard a lot of negative things about this app. So, would I recommend this to a beginner artist? No. Would I recommend this to an advanced artist? No. Would I recommend this to any artist? No. And to whoever uses this app, stop using it. Stop it. This is the type of app you'd use when you want to draw a smiley face and you don't feel like opening a professional app. This app focuses more on looking like a professional arts app that you can have on your iPad or phone than actually being a professional art app that you can have on your iPad or phone. If any of you have used this before and you want to correct me on things that I'm complaining about, then you can. But this was so annoying to use. I may be exaggerating a little bit. The app is okay, but at the same time it's not. There's so many little things about it that bug me so much, but those might not be a problem to the average person. But I'm gonna stop complaining about the app for now and start talking about the drawing I did. The drawing I did was pretty good for the app that I was using. I liked the pose, and I'm proud of the hands, but it pretty much went downhill from there because I don't know what I was doing, but I guess I decided that changing the background color for the hair was a good idea when it wasn't, because you can't erase the background. That's just not how it works. And then I was also coloring like really messy. It didn't really look that good. And I forgot to put the eye whites completely. The eye is unfinished. And I don't really like how I shaded anything here. The colors are kind of muddy. I don't really know why. I feel like I was just on art block when I was making this because nothing was turning out right. I don't even know what was going on anymore. The only thing that turned out right was the pose and the hands. This drawing definitely wasn't my favorite. In fact, it's probably the worst out of all the drawings I did here. This whole drawing is just kind of bad. I was probably half awake when I was making this drawing because it's just bad. I don't even know what else to say about this. I don't really know. I don't know what to commentate on this drawing because the drawing is just bad. That's just the definition. Like, I barely even finished the drawing too. It's just a bad and poorly made drawing. It doesn't look finished because it isn't finished. But it's okay because at the end of the day, I just drew Hatsune Miku. And Hatsune Miku is Hatsune Miku. Sketchbook was a mid app. It goes into B tier. The next app I used was Medibang. And I know Medibang has a computer version and I think is originally from the computer, but I am terrible at drawing on computer, so it wouldn't be a fair comparison. And there was no time-lapse feature. Or at least I couldn't figure out the time-lapse feature. So on the screen, I've made a makeshift kind of time-lapse thing through my process, and basically I just do a rough sketch, I clean up the sketch, and then I color. That's all you're gonna see on the screen because Medibang doesn't have a time-lapse feature. Medibang feels like it's a computer application that was ported onto an iPad. And that's not how you're supposed to do it. You almost have to recreate the app entirely when you want to create an iPad or computer version of an app. So when they did that for Medibang, they didn't really do it properly. So the whole app feels like it's so clouded up. And it's just hard to use. I can't with it. Just stop with Medibang. I would put it in the lowest tier, but at least Medibang doesn't have every feature behind a paywall like the next app I'm gonna show you right now. The next app we're using today is called Iartbook, and everyone was saying this was such a good Procreate alternative. It is not a good Procreate alternative. It's not. The only thing good about it is that it looks like Procreate. It's as clean as Procreate, but it's not as good as Procreate. Everything is covered by a paywall. Everything. Just for a reference, here's a small list of things that are covered by a paywall. Cropping and resizing your art, liquefy, reference windows, and so many more features. If you are going to use any art program in the entire world, do not use Iartbook. It's so bad. There's nothing that is not hidden behind a paywall. This has probably been one of the worst experiences I have ever had drawing in my entire existence. And I may be exaggerating, but oh my gosh, it's so bad. Compared to every single other application that I used in this video, Hyperpaint is so much better. It's so much better than every single one. I barely ran into paywalls. The brush selection was good. The interface was clean. The time-lapse feature actually worked. And it was just so much better. I can't even explain how much better it was because it was just better, okay? I loved using this so much. If I didn't have Ibis Paint, this is what I would be using because it's so good. It's actually an art app that you can use without getting annoyed every 4 seconds because there's a giant paywall. And I was actually happy with how the drawing turned out. I was not expecting that much for Hyperpaint, especially after the Iartbook situation. But Hyperpaint seriously surpassed my expectations. Like, this was so good. It was so easy to use. It was intuitive. The brushes were nice. The stabilization was nice. The reference window worked. The liquefy wasn't behind a paywall. That's literally a first of this video. The liquefy wasn't behind a paywall. That's actually so good. The only thing I don't really like about Hyperpaint is that they have limited layers. They have limited layers for certain canvas sizes that you want. For example, a 1x1 square, you have limited layers of 88. And for most of these, you have limited layers of 88, which is a lot, but I know a lot of artists that would definitely use more than 88 layers. So that's not really a cool thing. And I'm really proud with how the high paint drawing turned out, especially the shading on the hair. Like, oh my gosh, it turned out so cute and petite and amazing and cute and whatever. It was just really nice. High paint is literally what art book dreamed to be. High paint on top. I love this. I would recommend this to beginner artists. I can even recommend this to non-beginner artists. I can recommend this to anyone because it's so easy to figure out and just use. Hey girls, I have a channel membership now, so if you want some cool perks like tutorials exclusive for members, then you can go buy it right now. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Have a great evening, day, afternoon, or night. And remember to stay slay, stay safe, and face the day.